Big news today. Thanks for joining us right now at 6 o'clock, everybody. We start with those breaking developments on the state's reopening.
Capacity restrictions and travel advisories will be lifted on March 19th. That's about 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks from now. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Matthew Campbell is joining us now live. And Matthew, this is all actually going against the CDC's recommendation.
Yes, Aaron and Mark, it is, but the state says with a stable positivity rate, today it was less than 2%, that we earned this. And there are going to be so many different businesses affected by this. We have restaurants, we have gyms, churches even, as well as salons. They're all no longer going to have capacity limits. And right now, this is the closest we've been to normal since things started shutting down. Take a listen.
Restaurants, gyms, and all sorts of businesses will no longer have capacity limits. This is the closest we've been to normal since things started shutting down last March. Now, with that said, this is not like Texas or Mississippi. Masks are still being enforced, so is social distancing. Bars remain closed, and there's an 11 p.m. curfew as well. And we've already started to see some pushback from the restaurant industry because they argue that full capacity in 2021 is not full capacity pre-pandemic because tables need to be spaced 6 feet apart. The state says the solution lies in plexiglass.
It all depends on how the restaurant is laid out in terms of their physical footprint and their ability or willingness to use the plexiglass, the dividers that we also allow. So again, for certain restaurants, and I can't give a definitive number, they're effectively at the relaxing of the capacity restriction is where they've been. But for other restaurants, they will be able to increase their capacity.
Restrictions are also being lifted when it comes to school sports. Practice and games can resume for all sports on the 19th. And on that note, we can also see capacity increase for sports on April 2nd. Outdoor stadiums like Dunkin' Donuts Park can go to 50% capacity, capped at 10,000. Indoor arenas like the XL Center will go to 10% capacity.
It feels good that we're able to do this. It feels good that we've been slowly reopening since May 20th, and we really haven't had to turn back. I hope to God that we don't have to turn back this time.
And going back to the restaurants, the Restaurant Association is pushing for more loosening, writing, quote, before the pandemic, restaurants accounted for more than 160,000 jobs in our state. To get back to that point, the state will need to fully lift the curfew, limits on table sizes, and more. Live here in studio, Matthew Campbell, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Matthew, thank you very much.